Hey, what's up, Will? Welcome to the pod.
Uh, Hello, Fixie.
How's your week been?
Oh, it's pretty good, pretty good. Got some cool new games in. Excited. I had a pretty good week. How about you?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. We've been playing Stardew Valley. That's been really fun.
Yeah, lots of fun, man. I'm trying to get into it. I'm trying, but I'll stick it out.
Yeah,
but
it's been really awesome. Me and Will have been playing with Joe from the podcast. It's been heaps of fun. So, yeah. So, Will, tonight's show, we are episode number 42, I believe.
42? I thought it was like 45.
No, 42. Oh, well, that's what I wrote. Hopefully, it's right.
No, 45 is not. Now you got me second guessing. I don't know. What did it say? Number 42. You're correct. 42 is the correct
We'll
answer.
just go with it for now. If we're wrong, we'll correct it. So tonight's guests, we've actually got two returning guests. So you guys really love Nicolo and Jason's episodes. They're both avid PS4 collectors. In particular, they both have a niche of going for weird, obscure titles. They're great friends, and we thought, why not get them both on the show together? So please, welcome back to the PlayStation Collectors Podcast, Jason and Nicolo. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey
Good
guys.
evening, gentlemen. How's everyone doing this morning? Evening, week. How are you guys doing?
Fine, thanks.
I'm
Good to
good.
hear.
Evening for me. I guess it's different times for all of us, right?
Yeah,
For me,
you're.
it's early in the morning. Say 7 a.m.
Oh man, I tried to take a nap today, but it didn't happen. I just kept trying to take a nap, but the phone kept ringing. But no, I had a half a cup of coffee and with a beer chaser. So cheers, gentlemen. Let's do this shit.
Sure. I'll go with water because whatever.
Yeah, because you're hungover.
Maybe.
Oh, thanks so much for coming back on the show, guys. And this episode in particular is a little bit special. It's got a title attached to it, and it is exotic PS4 games. So we are going to be talking about exotic PS4 games. If you have any questions, feel free to show them in chat. Yeah, if Jason, if you want to get into it, starting off with a game, let's do this, guys.
Sounds good. Yeah. So originally I was going for specifically exotic shovelware, and that is an oxymoron, I guess. But yeah, I'm really into the weird stuff, as you mentioned, and so I've got here a pile of strange, obscure titles, many of which Nicolo probably also has right in front of him, and right here on the other side, I've got crazy, valuable, rare stuff, and they both equally interest me. So not everything's going to be worth a ton of money in this video from my perspective, but I consider it exotic from my own personal point of view. So that said, let's see the weird stuff. I'm actually going to show two at once here because they kind of go together in my mind. So recently, I want to say, was it East Asia Soft? Yeah, East Asia Soft, who's known for some good indie stuff. They recently released through Funbox Media the Pretty Girls Collection, Volume 1. This is definitely shovelware. In here, this 4-game collection. So it's got here Pretty Girls Mahjong Solitaire, Pretty Girls Mahjong Solitaire Delicious. I think those are two different games. Pretty Girls Klondike Solitaire and Pretty Girls Panic. So yeah, they're clearly selling this on the Pretty Girls thing.
Did you say East Asia Soft did that?
Yeah,
because it's a power release, so that makes it even more interesting to me.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it's just a UK only PAL release, if I'm correct. But they didn't stop there. They went with Pretty Girls Theme Collection 2. If you liked Pretty Girls Collection 1, which I'm sure someone did, I don't know, then you might love Pretty Girls Game Collection 2, which features Poker Pretty Girls Battle, Pretty Girls Mahjong Solitaire Blue. I think it's blue now. Pretty Girls Mahjong Solitaire Green. I'm not making this up. And Pretty Girls Panic Plus. So these are quality titles from the folks at East Asia Soft. And if you liked Pretty Girls Game Collection 2, you'll be
Oh,
excited that Volume 3 has been announced.
Tamagashi said the Switch one comes with a stylus.
I did not know that. Oh, you know what? There is another one. There is another they consider a lewd game from East Asia Soft. I think that's a different one. I actually have that on the shelf and I can grab it. But I think that's a different Pretty Girl type game. But yes, East Asia Soft branching out into many Pretty Girl genres of shovelware.
I remember when I was 6 years old, I used to spend the night at Danny Ortiz's house, a good friend of mine, and we'd always sneak into the computer room and he would throw on strip poker. And we sit there for a good hour to look at the worst pixelated booby girl in the world. Is it the same thing? Is it like strip mahjong? Is it like strip solitaire?
It's the same kind of thing. Yeah. I think they leave their clothes on to an extent, but it's clothes come off and not all of it. So I think that shares that in common with the ones you're describing.
I've been told that the PS4 ones are censored, while the Switch ones are uncensored. So
Yeah.
I have a friend that is really, really into this kind of stuff. He also throw in something like anti PS4 games. He had this huge collection of this weird stuff, and he went on the Switch one because it's uncensored. So
Yeah,
okay.
I think
That's interesting because the Switch is meant to be the family-friendly system, and that
No,
happens
now
a lot
it's
where the PS4 version will be censored and the Switch version will be uncensored.
now it's full of really explicit content and explicit game. The Switch nowadays. Yeah, that's the one.
yeah.
It makes no sense. But yeah, that's it seems the general consensus I've heard as well. The Switch is dirtier than PS4.
But you can justify your purchase because those 8 games are like 8 platinums, 5 minutes platinums or something like that. You can also justify the purchase later. Okay, yeah, I'm doing this for the platinums.
And then you have to justify having those games on your platinum list down the line.
I've seen worse on people's platinum lists. So
Oh, that's funny.
okay, I go with a couple of games too. Wait a sec, this is the most difficult one to reach. Okay. This is not one game, these are 2 games, but also 2 special editions ones. These are the Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City comic book edition. These are from Italy, are exclusive to Italy, and they were made by GameStop in collaboration with Panini Comics, that is the publisher of the comics. So why are they interesting? Because they should at least both appeal to video game collectors and also comic book collectors, because as far as I know, the comic books inside are exclusive, physically exclusive to these editions. And what's really interesting from gamer and video game collector point of view is that they include, it's hard to tell because my copies are sealed, a standalone version of the remastered games. While on, let's say, normally you can find them in bundle in the Return to Arkham edition. Inside these games, you have the standalone case, like the PS3 one, and they're both the Game of the Year editions. For a while,
really cool.
I thought that these editions were exclusive to Italy, but now I have discovered that in Korea, for some reason, they also have this standalone copy without the comic, of course, but it's a standalone copy of both of them. They were huge flops, I think, because they tried to sell them for like 60 to 70 euros each, and it's kind of hard to sell something like that. And I also did the same for Return to Arkham, but nothing interesting in there aside the comics, I would say.
Nicolo, can you hold that up to a regular case so I can get an idea how big that thing is?
Yeah, they're big. They're like
Oh, wow.
very big.
Yeah, it didn't look that big at first. Damn.
And it's like 1.5 kilos each. So I would say like 3 pounds each. This stupid stuff. They're super heavy.
Looks like a cereal box.
Yeah, kinda.
I would buy that shit. How are we doing? Is it doing round robin? Do I bust out a weirdo game now? Is it my turn?
Yeah, go for
Yep.
it, Will.
All right, why not? Here we go. Speaking of
If anyone wants to talk about the game that was just shown, feel free to jump in.
this game, there's actually no hentai in it. This is a false advertising, but it's a weirdo piece of shit. So I thought I'd bring it on. But my girlfriend got it digitally because she wanted to play
That's
it.
Hentai vs. Evil.
Hentai versus Evil by Funbox Media. Are they? Do they just do crap?
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
it pretty much it?
They just do crap.
Do they have any crap out there that's good?
I define good. Like I mean, I'm always after bad games, and I enjoy this. So yes, I'd say for me it's good. As a normal player, no, definitely not.
I actually,
on bad developers, like there's a whole developer that does mobile JRPGs. The name's not coming to me right now. One of you guys might know it.
Is it P Cube?
Oh, I'll have to look it up.
Every time I see P Cube, I read Cube. I don't know why, but
it's like people have seen Phoenix games and they're like, I can do that for PS4.
Now I can't unsee that. Now that you mention it,
I'm not wrong. Look at it; looks like
there we go. It's Camco.
Camco.
They have. They're like,
most stupid
2010
rip-off name
RPGs
ever.
on the mobile phone were hot. You know what? We should make physical PS4 games of those.
Yeah,
but also the name is the most stupid rip-off I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They keep on doing like standalone discs of every one of those RPGs that nobody really wants, but they'll do them in like 1,000 runs on PS4 just to get the 1,000 people or less who care, like myself, to actually buy them.
The sad thing is they could do like a best of collection and have 100 of them on there and literally still have space on the disc, and people buy it and be like, these games are pretty bad, but I got good value for money. I'm gonna tell my friends about this experience.
Yeah, on Switch they did like a 5-game collection, which is way more economical. It's like the same price as a standalone 1-game disc from limited run. So pretty amazing.
Hey, are there any good? I mean, when I say good games, I mean good collecting wise. I mean, I'm sure the games are all crap to play, but are there any high dollar fun box games that we should know about? Any expensive, super rare? Or is it just the same crap?
Not that I think about, but those games are not getting cheaper. On PS3, they release, I think, 3 or 4 games, and they're super cheap. But the PS4 one are keeping their value, like 20 to 30 euros, but they're keeping it. I've been watching the Painkillers and also Hentai vs. Evil and a couple of more for a very long time, and they just won't go down in price.
Yeah, they very limited distribution. So, if the handful of people who want them, they're kind of captive to the retail price that they're keeping them at.
I just Googled Funbox PS4 and I'm looking through the images on Google, and like, I don't know how you could be proud of releasing games like that. How can you be like, yeah, I work for this company. What games do you make? Yeah, you don't want to check out those titles.
I actually messaged them about some of the latest FPS about Marken Technique, the Germans one, and they told me, oh yeah, they proposed us those games, and we are going to discuss them in the next board meeting. So they also discuss if they should or shouldn't release. Is that bad enough to be released by us? Yeah, I think so.
It's a terrible logo too. It's just they put no effort into that. I don't know.
Straight out of the 90s, probably.
I think they put more effort into the design of the front cover than the actual game.
Well, there's low effort on that front as well. I don't know. This
is born also.
If that was a YouTube video, it would be clickbait.
That's also a 5 minutes plot. So I don't even know why he got a physical release of a shovelware for a platinum.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like somebody not from Japan tried to draw anime style, and it just I don't know. It looks off. Fucking,
It's
Yeah,
also
it's
hard to
interesting that
justify.
the video games have been out for 30, 40 years, and there isn't like a regulation behind, what type of game you can put out and charge price for. Like, you can put out a 5-minute game and slap a $60 price on it and sell it, and it's allowed. And there's no repercussions for someone who buys a terrible experience. But like, if it was a completely different aspect, like you're doing that in a restaurant and you have a bad meal and you paid a lot of money, you're going to get your money back, or people are going to be angry with you on the internet or something. So it's an interesting take, but I wonder if the future, if like regulations will ever change in games where you can't release a broken game and charge full price for it, or things like that.
No, man, they'll keep
they're
cranking out crap. Nicolo, someone had a question for you about the Batman games. Are the comics in Italian or English?
They're in Italian.
Makes sense. All right,
if they're exclusive though, it's still like to a Batman collector, it's such a niche thing.
Unfortunately, here in Italy, nobody knows English apparently, so they had to make it Italian.
That's funny.
So I haven't probably got as many games as you guys, but pulled out like some different interesting things that lead into other titles as well. So this game here might lead into some other titles that you guys have. I noticed the PS4 and this year I started doing this. Like games like Farming Simulator are really popular and good games, and then games like this come along that to the average like mum or dad, it might look like a farming simulator game. This is Forestry 2017, the simulation. This is a terrible game. It's broken. It's got a 0 platinum because one of the trophies is glitched and the developers don't care about it. Like, and there's so many similar games like this out there trying to capitalize on the popularity of Farming Simulator. Look, we're both jumping for games right now. But yeah, it goes back on that previous point. Like that would be their selling point, having it on the shelf, people thinking, hey, I played Farming Simulator, it was awesome. This is probably the same, but it's not. It's terrible. It shouldn't even be a $5 game on Steam. It would be like a 99-cent game.
Are these all the same company? I mean, how many? Who brought a farming simulator along with them? Raise their hand. Oh, just me. Oh, okay, Jason. Yeah, the simulator.
So this one is UIG.
Most of the simulator games on PS4. Yeah, they're mostly from. UIG is Airsoft, something like that, and Toplitz, and they're kind of the same company with different name.
It's like they went on Steam one day and they typed in simulation and they searched from lowest star to highest.
No. There's worse on Steam. There's way worse on Steam. I've seen those.
Yeah, if you guys have other simulation games, throw them up now. We'll talk about them all.
Yeah, bring on. This is a simulation round. So what you got for us, Jason?
This is a good segue. So speaking of UIG and crap, I've got here a handful that all go together. So I'll just kind of go through them quickly. So amazingly, these actually, a couple of these got ESRB releases, but strangely, I think only in Canada. I'm not sure why. I think they were released in Canada for like Black Friday in like 2017 or so. And actually Forestry 2017 was one of them, but I don't have that one to show right now. I do have, however, Firefighters, the simulation. Same kind of thing. I think it's by the same devs, equally bad, but another UIG classic, quote unquote, title. There it is. Firefighters, the simulation. But if that wasn't enough for you, there's also from UIG released the same day in Canada, at least, Firefighters Airport Fire Department. That's incredibly specific, but it is what it sounds like. Fires at airports. Who hasn't wanted to put out fires at airports? And now you can do it thanks to the folks at UIG. But
it's that specific that it could only be like a matter of 10 crews, and they're all like, "Is that me in the game?" I work for the the fire department at the airport. It's got to be me. I'm Canadian.
I mean, you might have thought, well, wow, you put out all the kinds of fires you can put out, but no, there's more fires you can put out. You could put out fires at a plant, for example, in Firefighters Plant Fire Department from UIG. The folks who brought you Firefighters the Simulation and Firefighters Airport Fire Department. This one's only released in European territories. It did get a PAL and I believe a USK release in Germany.
Well, there was a comment I just wanted to quickly pull up from Andy. He's saying there's a whole bunch of sim games built on the same engine, and they've all got the same stolen assets in the game, and that's interesting. Like if you go around and play all these games, you'll realize that hang on, I've played this mission before.
Yeah,
like this map is exactly the same as the last one. It's just reskinned.
These are definitely reskins. They are for sure reskins. It's like, hey, is that a fire in a plant or is that a fire in an airport? I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know anymore. It's a new texture. But people love these firefighting games, and that's why they did not one or two, but 3 different compilations of firefighting games from the folks who brought you Firefighters Plant Fire Department. There is Fire Chief, which compiles the 3 games we just spoke about. But there's more. There's also Firefighters Airport Heroes. So if you liked putting out the fires at the airport the first time, you can do the same thing in Firefighters Airport Heroes.
But be the hero this time.
Oh yeah, they're heroes now. They're heroes, and they've earned it after this many firefighting games. You are a hero if you got through it. Last but not least, go on.
No, I was gonna say UIG can turn around and sell these as training videos to firefighting company. I don't know if they're privatized or they're that's double the money right there. I mean, hell, for Nintendo did a shooting game for the army back in the day, and
quadruple there.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's like how one of the ideas originated for them to start. Like if they had simulations and videos that they went through in their training, and someone's like, let's turn this into a video
trust
game.
me, I've played those.
No, you can't. It's not proper training.
Oh God,
you can't put.
I just can tell you that the tutorial is a guy that guides you through the to the fire department, and these are the trucks. These are the beds where you can drink, where you can sleep. These are the something, and once the tour is that it's kind of 15 minutes or something like that long, okay, the tutorial is over. No input on the controls or on how you to do things. It's like, okay, go out and try to put on some fire. And I think the first mission is trash can in fire. Okay, go ahead and try to put that away.
Trash can fire.
Yeah, and I remember the second or third mission is always the same, and something toxic that you can get near because you instantly die. And that's this game over. You died because you touched the toxic liquid, something like that.
I'll show up for a job at the fire department. Oh, do you have any experience? Oh yeah, I played Firefighter Airport, Dumpster Fire. I played what's the other one? Factory Fire. Jesus.
Oh, Plant
Fire. Okay.
I was going to say that Dumpster Fire would be a much more appropriate title for
Dumpster Fire Simulator. It's DK Oldies. No, I'm kidding. No, we're not making fun of that.
I just wanted to pull up a comment from Tamagashi about comic books. A little bit off topic, but it's back to the Italian ones that Nicolo showed. So they accidentally put French comics in all the EU releases of the Final Fantasy Type 0 Collector's Edition. That's really interesting because, like, if comic book collectors were after that, they wouldn't buy it for that reason if, like, they go for English ones. Just goes to show that the people who put this stuff together don't really care.
No.
The last one, though, so it was a 4-in-1. Firefighters, the compilation. If you like the 4 before it, now you can get them all on a single disc. This one only released in Germany, unfortunately. I think that's when UIG actually shut down, or that they got bought out by Toplitz, or whatever happened there. UIG kind of ended their run of simulators at that point.
Oh
sad,
no!
a
What
really
will we
sad
do?
day in the history of shitty video game collectors.
I should have said.
All right, Nicole, you're up. What you
Okay.
got next?
I was going to do the same thing. But let's say that this is interesting. Just I'll add this one. This is interesting because it's the only, let's say, European release of the three, and probably has only been released like in France and Dutch territory and something like that. But if you were not happy about the putting out fires in airport, you can also go to simulate the entire airport because once they have all the assets, so okay, why
Yeah.
not making an entire airport simulator? This is the second one. There's also the first one we just called just airport simulator. This is the second one, and it's exactly the same game but with a day and night cycle. And this is kind of interesting because it also had German release. This is the Peggy multi-language one. And one of the interesting stuff about the multi-language one is that normally, if you see these four languages, they're not the same. They rarely there's at least one that is completely different in the meaning of what they're saying. I still don't know why. This is kind of interesting because apparently on PSN profiles, the website that tracks people getting trophies and so on, nobody has played this, and it's
I wonder why.
2021 release. So
Is it an easy platinum?
I don't know. I've never seen the trophy list, and I'm not cracked it open yet. So
I mean,
don't know.
if it's the same as the other one of just a day and night cycle, it's
The other
probably
one
the
is
same as the other
buggy
one.
and shit, so it doesn't have a platinum and is completely bugged. So
To me,
I
that
don't
sounds
think-
like a free DLC update,
because
not a new game.
these ones are not just bad; they're also really hard to get a platinum on. It's super hard. They're super long. Without a platinum, normally it's just 100%, and they're super hard, super long, super buggy. It's super bad. So you
How many-
shouldn't buy this. Period. There's no excuse.
How many simulator games are there?
How long have you got?
50.
50.
I compiled the list because I'm not saying that, but I know I'm doing this. I'm trying to go for a full set of simulators, and they're like 50 with the latest ones. There's also a Flixbus, so the one that the bus that you take to make trips, but paying really low cost simulator is went up like.
I was watching an
last
ad
week,
on
something like
Steam for. I think
But-
it was a bus driving simulator one.
One
yeah,
thing
where you
that
make your own
the last
routes
thing
and
that
stuff.
I want to point out is that how lazy they were. Look at the font of the games. It's always the same.
Yeah, well, that's branding right there, buddy.
They haven't got time to make a hire.
Nobody got time for this.
one guy on Microsoft Paint going, "Yep, I can make it."
And this
I think
is
the interesting thing about those games is
Yeah,
there are
that's-
a few good simulator games out there. Like there mightn't be many, but there are a few good simulator games that people dedicate their lives to. Like there's some truck simulating games that people have spent thousands of dollars on truck sims and different things like that. And obviously Farming Simulator is the one that kicked it off. Microsoft Flight Simulators, obviously amazing. It's been around for a long time. But then, you have these cheap rip-off ones that would be trying to piggyback on the success of other ones.
What you got for us, Jason?
Oh, I was going to say that the day and night cycle that Nicolo mentioned. This is the previous version with just the day cycle. So if the nighttime is too much for you, it's just too much pressure. It's too dark. Then there is just the day cycle version, suitable for 2019. So just want to throw that out there.
Man, I when we started about 5 minutes ago, I was like, maybe I'll go for a simulator set, but no, I'm fuck that. I'm not going for it.
No.
Well, here's my simulator, and this is a Walmart exclusive. This is the only simulator in my entire collection. This is Farming Simulator 17. It's a Walmart exclusive. Oh, I dropped it. This one is made by Focus Home Interactive. I don't know what makes it exclusive to Walmart. I got this for 3 cents. I shit you
That's
not.
a good deal.
Yeah,
Yes.
Walmart, they do a thing every year where they're just flushing out games and they label them for 3 cents, and that's a sign for the people to send them back to the factory or whatever. They didn't send this one back. They didn't send a whole pile of them back. I got this one for 3 cents. I think I got like 3 of these. I traded 2 into GameStop, and I kept 1 for myself. I don't know why, but here you go. Farming Simulator. It takes up space on my shelf. That's all I know about it. Oh, bonus downloadable content, Anaconda 2-pack. I guess that's a tractor of some sort. I don't know. But no,
I mean, that would be the exclusive content you get.
I'm guessing, yeah, because it's right underneath the Walmart. Blah blah blah. I had an eye on a car mechanic simulator that some guy was selling locally for $10, but he never returned my because it's like $30 on eBay. I was looking, I was like, oh, damn.
I've heard that that's actually really good.
Yeah, that should be one of the good ones.
So there are good simulator games. Okay, well, I was gonna go for it, but the guy never.
I mean,
returned my call.
they're all painfully slow, painfully detailed, but some are well made at least.
Yeah, some people. I mean, simulating games. I mean, I guess it's a niche all its own. It's its own genre. But no, if the car mechanic simulator guy ever calls me back, I'll go cop that thing for $10 just because it's a deal. I mean, I'm all about finding the deals in the wild. But yeah, there's my simulator game. You got any Sims for us, Figs?
I didn't pull any out, but I have plenty in the collection. It's just they're so bad. But before I do show another game, we're past the half an hour mark. I thought it would be time to bring on one of our segments. So it is time to play Figsy's quiz, guys.
Cue the bad music. Figsy quiz.
Now, today we have 2 guests. So we will have 3 different lots of questions for each round. So there are going to be 4 rounds. How it's going to work is each of you will have a chance to answer. Because there are 2 other contestants, I'm going to only make the questions worth half a point if you get the opposition's questions wrong. How it's going to work is Jason's going to go first. Nicolo will go second. Will go third. Doing it in alphabetical order. So again, a little bit random. We're going to keep going in clockwise, and to keep the unity, say Jason answers a question incorrect, Nicolo will have the first chance to answer that question correctly, and then followed by Will, and so on in the circle. So it'll be best of 4 rounds. There will be a bonus question. We do have to go to the tiebreaker question. It will be first to name it on the buzzer. But yeah, if not, we'll just play it and have a bit of fun. Big shout out to Pavel for once again providing the quiz. Pavel went out of his way once again. It's a really awesome quiz. Should be a heap of fun. So yeah, let's get into it, guys.
All right.
So first question for Jason. So Jason, what are the fruits that Crash Bandicoot collects? Goomba, Apple Loomba, Woomba, or Roomba?
So I've rolled out 2. Wow. Let's see, man. I'm going to go with the Apple Loomba. Hopefully, I'm right about that.
That is incorrect. So Nicolo, for half a point,
Wumpa.
what is the fruit that Crash Bandicoot collects?
It's the Wumpa.
That is correct. Nicolo takes half a point. I'm just going to write down the points, guys. So I'll apologize for 1 second.
We need a scoreboard. Congratulations, Nicolo.
Thanks.
All right, Nicola, your first question. So I haven't got a photo for this one because that's the answer. But I do have 4 potential answers for you. So the game NBA Elite 11, the player Kevin Durant is on the front cover. What NBA team is the jersey he's wearing? Is it A, the Minnesota Timberwolves, B, the Oklahoma City Thunder, C, Portland Trail Blazers, or D, the Toronto Raptors?
Since I don't know anything about NBA teams, I'll go with the Raptors.
That is incorrect. Will, I'm going to give you a choice of 3 for half a point. So you're going to detect the jersey that Kevin Durant's wearing on the front cover of NBA Elite 11. It can be either the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Oklahoma City Thunder, or the Portland Trail Blazers.
The Trailblazers.
That is incorrect.
Mm.
Jason, for the chance of winning half a point, and Jason owns this game. Is it A, the Minnesota Timberwolves, or B, the Oklahoma City Thunder?
I'm embarrassed because I should know that for the reason you just stated, but I'm going to go with A.
That is incorrect. So here we have the Oklahoma City Thunder jersey.
I didn't even know it was a fucking team. I didn't know Oklahoma had a damn football team.
I have no excuse. Except
So
I-
moving on to Will's
For this,
first question.
it's really
the
obvious
score
that we
is Nicola's on 0.5. Jason and Will are yet to hit the board.
No, what's my question?
All right. Which known drink was included in the special edition of Uncharted Nathan Drake collection for PS4? I've got a little multiple choice for you. Was it Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Red Bull, or Monster Energy?
Let me see. Well, Monster Energy, that's an Xbox drink, so I'm gonna eliminate that one. It's Red Bull.
That is correct. Well done, Will.
All right.
Just gonna get a photo up here for you guys. So I'm not entirely sure if this was a Russian exclusive or not. But here we have the Uncharted 4 special edition, and it came with cans of Red Bull, which is really cool.
they did something very similar in Italy with the pre-order pack of Infamous Second Son. They gave you a pack of Red Bull and a pack of condoms.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That was the most random thing I've ever seen.
in case you're not going to use all that energy.
Exactly.
So, guys, this has been the end of round 1. The score is Jason's on 0. We've got Nicola on 0.5. But out to the lead is Will on 1 point. So let's move into round 2. All right, so Jason, you're going to have the first one here. Now, the round 2 is going to be minimalistic posters. I'm going to show each of you guys a minimalistic poster. You're going to have to guess the video game it's from. Again, if you get it wrong, the answer will go over to your opponent with a chance to get the point. So the first one is for you, Jason. What game is this a minimalistic poster for?
It's going to be really obvious when I don't get it. Let's see.
Do you know the gas?
So that would be nitrogen? Yes? No? Maybe? No? Then I guess would probably be the answer. Wow. Yeah, no. I don't know.
You want to just throw a stab at it?
Yo, don't put any pressure on him.
Yeah, that it feels really intense. It feels normal again. You know, I don't even honestly know where to throw out a guess there. Probably, I'd have to go with Crash Bandicoot Warped.
Incorrect. I will pass this one over to Nicolo with a chance of getting a half a point.
Need for Speed.
No,
That is correct.
no,
Nicolo,
that was my
well
guess.
done.
It's nitrous oxide. It's either Need for Speed or Dentist Simulator.
Need for Speed.
But yeah,
So
Need for
Nicolo
Speed.
moves to 1 point. All right, Nicolo, for the chance of getting another point, what video game is this poster representing a minimalistic photo of?
Oh wow.
Cue the music.
But is it PS4 or is general?
It's just PlayStation related. It is on other systems as well.
Quantum of Solace. 007.
Incorrect. Will, for the chance of getting half a point, what video game does this poster represent?
Well, with the pink and the two little piles of
Okay.
cocaine in the background, I'm gonna guess Vice City.
That is correct. Well
Yeah.
done, Will.
I thought they were.
Poster for you guys.
I don't,
Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Yeah, I knew that was coke.
All right, Will, for the chance at a second point and moving well clear of this competition, what video game is this poster representing?
Okay.
Damn it. Red Dead Redemption.
Wow, Will takes it clean. GG's, Will.
I was like, that could either be a film canister or that could be a 6-gun. And yeah, it's a 6. Let's see the whole poster. Yeah, look at that. It's a 6-gun.
So Will is on 2.5. Nicola's on 1 point. Jason still gets the score.
No, Nicola
however, there's plenty of time for anyone to take this.
Nicola has 1.5. Didn't he get Jason's answer right?
Yeah, he's only 0.5 for that.
Oh, okay.
So let's move into round 3, guys. We're having too much fun with that. All right. I'm going to show you guys, Jason. I'm going to show you an image. You have to tell me what video game is this. Hang on. So the soundtrack of this PlayStation game includes the following music tracks. So we have Explosion by the Future Sound of London, Loops of Fury by the Chemical Brothers, and Firestarter by the Prodigy.
And so those songs go along with the image, right? Like they're from the game we're looking at, correct?
Yeah.
So hopefully my answer qualifies. I'm going to say Wipeout Omega Collection.
So it's a PS1 game. I'm actually needing the title of the actual PS1 title.
Ah, okay.
I will accept the North American or the PAL answer.
Would you accept Wipeout 3?
Not Wipeout 3. We'll hand this one over to Nicolo.
Wipeout Fury?
No, it's not Wipeout Fury either. Will?
Yeah, I'm just going to go straight up Wipeout.
So the answer we were looking for was either Wipeout 2097 for the PAL release or Wipeout XL for the North American release. I do have a quick video to show for the game.
3, 2, 1, go.
Every day improving. What's the word? What's the term? Production value.
Quality through the roof on this show.
Then we got
All
video.
right, next question is for Nicolo. Nicolo, what do these 4 PlayStation 1 games have in common?
don't know, to be honest. uh, the soundtrack compositor. I don't know.
Incorrect. I will hand this one over to Will for half a point.
They're all PAL games. Give him a half a point.
Well, that might be correct. That isn't the answer we are looking for. We'll hand this one over to Jason for half a point.
I don't think anyone said that. They're all PAL games.
I just said that, and I
I'm
got. I'm slow.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly.
All right, so the answer we were looking for were they all have 4 discs.
Oh, there you go. Is that Kudelka on the top left? I couldn't quite make that out.
Yeah, that's Kudelka. You don't see many games with 4 discs anymore, but that was a definitely a common feature back in the PS1 era. So the next question is for you, Will. I'm going to show you a encrypted image. You have to tell me the PS4 game that this image is trying to depict.
Is this Era of Drift Cars?
That's correct.
Oh God, he's trying to piss me. It could have been Grand Theft Auto because you run over everybody in that game too. But just,
that was Arab Drift Cars.
Nicolo and Jason, you guys each got one, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It is. It's Arab Drift Cars 1, so I'm holding out for the
the sequel, the collection, and then you're gonna have like compilation packs in Germany.
Is the price still up there?
It's a series. There's also Saudi Arabian drift cars and something like Kingdom of Drifts, and they're all the same shit reskinned.
Oh my god!
And they're all up on the PSN for 20 euros each. If you go to PS Prices, that is the website that keeps tracking of the price of every game, so you can see how low it went on a discount and whatever. You see that Arab Drift Card went out for $14.99. Then when the physical copy released, they increased the price to $19.99.
Let's move into the final round of the quiz, guys. This is round 4. Will is to a commanding lead of 3.5. Incredible scenes. Will's only taken one of these before, so West in line to take another one. However, anything can still happen. Now, Jason, your next question. Sorry, I'm just getting myself mounted. So I'm going to show you a screenshot of a demake of a famous PlayStation 2 game. You can either give me the answer of the name of the demake or the PS2 game.
Okay. Demake of a PS2 game. Huh. This is coming to me really, really slowly.
I have an idea. Yeah, I
know that.
You know what it is?
Yeah. Probably, at least.
Take a stab in the dark, Jason.
Oh, man. Okay. I want to... like my mind's going to like Silent Hill. It's going to a Silent Hill game. It's going to Resident Evil. I know this isn't it. I'm going to say Code Veronica.
Code Veronica is incorrect. I'll hand this one over to Nicolo.
This is Silent Hill 2.
That is correct. Well done.
Oh man, that's what I was going to say.
That was my first thought, and I thought I was wrong. So I should have gone with my first thought.
No,
I'll just bring it up. There was a fan demake called Soulless Mountain 2, but it was
Soundless.
The NES.
That's upsetting. Nintendo.
So next question is for you, Nicolo. So on the reversible cover of a certain PS3 game has not to be sold separately created at GameStop 2013 thanks to the community. Which game is this? And I'm going to show you a title of 4 to choose from. Is this from Tomb Raider, Bioshock Infinite, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, or Dead Space 3? I will just repeat that. So on the reversible cover of this PlayStation 3 not to be sold separately variant has written created at GameStop Gamecom 2013 thanks to the community. Which title was it?
I'll go with Black Flag because I think it's the only 2013 game.
That is correct, and that's a very
good
way to get
job.
the answer. GG.
Good job.
I'll just bring up the variant. So this was on the inside cover of the variant. I'd had created at Gamescom 2013 thanks to the community, and had a really cool Assassin's Creed Black Flag on the other side.
I didn't even know that thing was a thing.
Yeah.
Me neither.
All right, well, your next question.
All right.
Which famous game could you wears this T-shirt? So it's the main character of a video game.
He wears that T-shirt in the whole game, or
In which famous game could you see the main character in this T-shirt?
Jesus. I want to say Grand Theft Auto 5, but no. Dude, I have no clue, honestly. I think that's a AAA game. I don't know. Infamous Second Son.
Incorrect. I will pass this one over to Jason for half a point.
You know, I'm probably wrong here, but I want to say that Ellie wore it in The Last of Us.
That is correct. Congratulations.
Oh, shit. Good job, Jason. What was the game?
The Last
The
of Us.
Last of Us.
Oh, The Last of Us. Oh, okay.
So here we have
Oh,
Ellie wearing
yeah.
that T-shirt.
Oh, look! This looks nothing like the other shirt. That thing's all tattered and torn.
I only knew that for an embarrassing reason. I was at E3 the year that was announced, and they were giving away T-shirts with that print on it. And I still remember the print. And I was like, "Is that in the game?" And I had to look for it. Like, oh, there it is. Yeah.
Very nice.
Congratulations, Will. You are this week's winner of episode 42's Figsy's quiz. Congratulations. You won with a score of 3.5 over 2.5, and Jason came on the board at the end with a steal. You get 0.5. However, we will have a bonus answer. This one's just for pride. I'm going to play the soundtrack of a certain game. First one to name the game correctly gets it right. You each get to buzz in once. It goes for about 2 minutes, so you don't have to buzz in right away. You can buzz in at 5 seconds. However, if you get it wrong, you will be locked out.
Is this is it Dead Space?
Correct, Will. You're locked out.
This is some kind of probably JRPG. I know this. I know this, but I can't remember the game.
Believe me over here. It was a PlayStation 2 game.
Oh, I know what it is. No, I don't. I don't know.
Is it Vanquish?
Sorry, Nicholas.
Vanquish?
Correct.
All right, Jason, it's all you.
Sorry,
I'm sorry.
Jason.
I'm totally wrong, probably. Soul Calibur 4.
Incorrect. Thanks everyone for playing. That was
What's it? Wait, what's the name? What game is that?
that was Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh, I was gonna say Metal Gear Solid, but yeah, wow. Well, that
I
was
thought
my
the
second.
mechs might have given it away with Kojima doing all that mech stuff at the start. But yeah, big thank you to Pavel for providing all the questions for the quiz. Thanks heaps for playing, guys. This has been Figsy's quiz. Heap of fun, and hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yay! That was a. Yeah, even I think that was a good quiz, and I only say that because I won. I'm a sore loser.
You won the
But,
last time I was on too. So
what's that?
I think you won the last time I was on. So I'm good luck for you and I'm bad luck.
Yeah. Well, you guys, you have to forgive me. I will be right back.
So let's get into some more games, guys. Jason?
Let's see. I feel like I should move away from shovelware because I've got a lot of it in front of me. So if we have some time, I'll come back to it. Let me show something else a little bit weird here. Not just weird because it's not shovelware, but here's something I don't know if I've ever seen talked about, honestly. So rare game alert, I guess. So this is interesting. This is a version of Rage 2 only released as a pre-order in Canada. So yeah, this is interesting. So apparently the backstory behind this is, I'm taking it out of the cover to make it a little bit less of a glare. The story here is, I guess that Walmart apparently outed Rage 2 as like a pre-order on their website before Bethesda had the chance to announce it. So they had this placeholder image of just a black box with a PS4 logo with the Rage 2 and like Arial font or whatever. It looked just like this. And then on social media, Bethesda was like, "Well, thanks for outing that, Walmart." Like they actually called it out. But then, as like to go along with the joke, as a pre-order bonus, if you pre-ordered Rage 2 at Walmart in Canada, you would get an alternate cover with the fake placeholder cover on the real cover. And here they are calling out the wrong font. And on the back of it is the social media post where they outed it and they called it out.
I love that.
It's
like an FU to Walmart edition.
It basically is, but then Walmart went ahead with it and they sold it. So you could only get this by pre-ordering it before it came out in Walmart Canada. So that's my weird, educational thing.
Any of you guys played Rage 2? I really enjoyed the first one. I just haven't given the second one a go yet.
Not yet.
I should have known.
So I'll go with some alternative cover arts for me. And for me, it's Tokyo 2020, the alternative cover. This is not just an alt cover. This was the 2019 press. So the pre-COVID version of the game. It has only been released in Asia, Japan, and Asia. And for a while, it has been a really rare collectible and whatever game because everyone thought that maybe the Western version wouldn't come out and everything. So they put it out with the same name but different cover. So this is the original press. I don't know if the vanilla code is something somehow different or whatever, but it was an interesting game. This is the English version, so it's also even harder to find, but interesting piece at least of history.
I agree. I pre-ordered that one for the same reason. Once I found out the Olympics was cancelled, however, that game was still getting released. I'm like, well, this is going to be interesting. What if, I wouldn't have, I didn't think they were going to redo the Olympics a year later, and and put the game
I
out. And
I've did the same.
the weirdest part is the remake's called the Olympics 2020, even though it was 2021. So it's like,
Yeah.
Did they just have copies ready and they didn't want to reprint them?
They still called the Olympics in 2021 the Olympics 2020. The actual
and the exact same reason was it because
That's
they
the
already had
brand.
all the merchandise and everything made up, and they just didn't want to redo it all.
Yeah.
I thought about actually pulling this. I have the same exact variant that you just showed, Nicolo, and I thought about showing it for the same reason. I think that they did add an additional game. I could be wrong about this. I got to confirm because I have the later version next to it on the shelf. But I think they did add one more Olympic game to the game itself that maybe was available as an update to the version that you just showed. That's on disc, I want to say, in the other one.
I haven't picked up the other one yet. I've only got the one that Nicolo showed. I'll show the next one, guys.
So this next one, if you go back to like 2016, this is the most expensive PS4 game. It was like $400. It was crazy. And you guys probably, if you know what it was. It's not expensive anymore. It's Toro. So this was a Spanish exclusive. It was a weird game. So this is a bullfighting game. I've played it. It's terrible. I would call it like a bad PS2 game. Basically, it's bullfighting. You've got to get the bull to come towards you, and it's absolutely awful. However, at the time, it only received a certain amount of copies. And then being like a weird Spanish game, there was like 6 or 7 of them. This was like the weirdest, most obscure, I would say. And because of that, like people wanted to own it. And this quickly went from being $100 to like $400 in the matter of 2 or 3 years, to the point where Ricoh Technology reprinted them. And they reprinted like thousands of them. So this went from $400 to like $50 in the matter of weeks. It was the real first PS4 game that I was aware of that got like a mass reprint because it was expensive. Like that's common practice today with Video Games Plus. But I know. I think like you can understand the logic behind it. This company are like, oh, look at our game on eBay for this price. We've got the license. Why don't we just print more copies? And they probably expected the game to have high popularity and demand, which is part of the reason behind the reprint, where most of the copies are just people wanting the expensive game because it's expensive. Question to you guys: did you own this game prior to the reprint or afterwards?
No, afterwards. I have the reprinted one because it's the one with the yellow text, less bright, so it's the reprint.
Yeah, so like I used to own both, and when you compared the two, the font was different. Especially like down here, one was bold and one wasn't. It would be hard to tell comparing mine and Nicolo's, but like having the two side to side, you could like slightly tell. There were like absolutely no price difference between the first and second print. No one's really caring about that in PS4, which is quite interesting, especially with the grading market being so big. I think people might care about prints later on down the line.
I was considering that game. I was talking about it with a couple friends this morning, and it was one on eBay for $50 plus 15 shipping from Spain. I looked it up on eBay. I wasn't, I'm not going to grab that, but $3 digitally if you want to play it. The only reason I wanted to play it is I'm a fan of I'm a fan of animal abuse, so
No, I
I'm
said to
kidding.
myself, I'm going to go for the platinum in this.
Nah.
And it was terrible. And I failed one of the missions, and I'm not playing that again. That was so bad.
Yeah, I've did the same.
It's horrible. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go real quick. I bought
the.
I bought this game in anticipation of this episode, and I was like, okay, well, I gotta find a game that neither Jason or Nicolo have shown on Facebook yet. Yeah, so one popped up. This one came from England. A friend of mine bought it for me. Jamie Parks. Hats off if he's listening. It took a month to get here because I guess the Royal Mail suffered a cyber attack. Well, whatever. Finally, it arrived today after a month, and that game is Nippon Marathon. You guys, if either of you guys seen this game, or you know anything about this game?
I got the platinum for it.
Oh, you do.
It's a lot of fun. It's
Yeah,
really
it's-
actually very good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's you run around in a supermarket. I guess it's like a supermarket race. You
No,
run
it's
around.
Takeshi's Castle.
What? It's like what?
Takeshi's Castle. Have you ever
So-
seen that?
Yeah, that's
The weird Japanese game where people
it's a obstacle
do
course.
obstacles, stupid obstacle course. Yeah,
I love that show. Actually, it's pretty good. But yeah, they renamed it Wipeout here in the U.S. and they try to air it. But yeah, Nippon Marathon, weird game. Yeah, I'll never play this thing.
Yeah, you should. It's really funny.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
This comes not from CEX, but a store called Game. That's the name of the
Yeah,
store. It's the name of-
Game.com.
and they do they do the same. It was GameStop sealed, if you know what I mean. So it just had a sticker over the spine, and yeah, I just tore that crap off, and yeah, it's open. But there you go, Nippon Marathon. That's my weirdo game. Well, we're about 6-7 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's do some memes, guys. You guys want to see some memes? I got some memes loaded up here. Bigsy, can you cue the visual aid and the music? I know you gotta. I know it's a lot of scrolling for you. But come on, let's hear that. Let's hear that.
The terrible
headphone.
music.
Oh, I love it.
Headphone warning, guys.
I love it. All right. First meme of the evening. There was a new PS5. Finally, got a PS5 with limited edition console coming out, and it's LeBron James, I guess. But no, screw that. I'll go for the Grogu Mandalorian Xbox. Is this Mandalorian Xbox? Is this even a real thing?
I like the Yoda one. That looks really cool.
I hope,
Yeah.
to be honest.
But I don't know. I don't do Xbox. But yeah, there we go. There's that way to start the PlayStation Collectors podcast off. This one I found this credit to Chris Reeder from the Game Junkies Facebook group. This is his actual game that he purchased, and these are his actual words. Apparently Jorge means business, and it says, Jorge, touch this tape and you die. I guess Jorge didn't like to share his games, but yeah, there's that. Oh man, you used to work at a pawn shop, Figsy. I hope this one doesn't hurt your feelings. But the pawn shop turning PlayStations into crack since 1995, and you can substitute crack for heroin or whatever your drug of choice is, right there.
I mean, hey, there's one reason why I've got a PS4 collection the size of working in a pawn shop.
Oh man. Did you guys are aware of the latest PlayStation 3 update that dropped?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it did. I haven't updated mine yet, but
well, here's when you update it, it'll tell you it's time to buy a PlayStation 5, you bitch. Anyway, there's that. This one comes from Figsy. This is gonna upset some people. I've got a modded PS3. I can play every game. Well, there's that. Let me see what else.
I think
we
every
got
time
here.
I share my full PS3 set, I get someone saying that.
Yeah.
Like something similar.
Jason, you inspired this meme, and I'd like to thank you for. Yeah, I actually posted it on your sales post. What? How much for the game? PM for price. I don't want a PM. How much? PM for price. How much is the game?
It's funny because I have that game in the stack to show you guys today.
Oh, we're gonna see it. Oh, cool. What else we
How
got
much
here?
is-
Me that grew up on SNES and PS1. Kids on Reddit saying 30 30 frames per second games are just unplayable. People like to complain. There are a lot of idiots on Reddit, but there you go. All right, I have 1 hour to play. Bam, 40 gigabyte update. No, that one hurts. It's true.
I can relate to that more a few years ago when my internet was a bit slower. And it was like, all right, I've just finished work. I've got a new game. All right, I'm going to bed because my only chance of playing this is if I go to bed now and wake up like 2 hours before work.
Yeah, man, I get so having times I try to get on PUBG and new update, new season takes a good hour. It's like, screw this. What's your favorite PlayStation game? Them, Call of Duty. Oh, it hurts. Yeah, it hurts. There's what the hell's his name? Having a panic attack on the Last of Us show. Good show. You guys watching the show?
Not yet.
I haven't, no.
Yeah, I started. It's not bad. Catholic Church introduces Waria, the evil counterpart to Mary.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I got a lot of memes left over from the past couple weeks.
Keep going, and this is gold.
So I'm just gonna keep spitting them out here. Let's see what else we got. What is this? I can't even see this. Let's find out what this is together. Oh yeah, this is the DK oldies. When you order a game, you get to clean it up yourself. Is basically
You get the dusty controller and the duster.
The dusty controller, canned air, some thermal paste, and some, what is that?
Red ring Xbox 360.
Q-tips and a red ring of death Xbox 360. Yeah, DK oldies. The people are still dunking on them. It's just that it's like the news story that won't die. But
It's not even video game. It's gone into like toxic YouTube culture that like call people out and cancel people. They're like now talking about DK oldies and
yeah, everybody's dunking on them. See what they go, oh my god, I just stabbed a parking attendant.
I like this one.
Where's the button to turn myself in? That's my best Hank Hill. I don't know if you guys have King of the Hill in your country, but yeah, there's that. And let's see, got one more for you. When you're playing a game, it starts skipping dialogue and cutscenes. I don't know who I am. I don't know why I'm here. All I know is that I must kill. That's the PUBG helmet, isn't it, Pigsy?
I think it might be one.
Yeah,
of
the
them,
level 3 helmet. Yeah, there you go. But there's that one. Oh wait, I got one more. Oh, where is it? Here we go. Your crush, your ex, her sister, her father, her brother, and there's you. You're the Xbox. These are all PlayStation exclusives. Yeah, this meme thing doesn't work too good for people not watching on YouTube. So go watch us on YouTube if you want to catch the memes. But ladies and gentlemen, that has been this week's installment of Meme Time. So there we go.
People listening on Spotify going, that wasn't very funny.
Yeah. I think I got through them all. Yeah, I don't think I have any left over. Yeah, we clean them all
Next
out.
week I won't be scrolling for half an episode. Thanks, Will.
No
Mari
problem.
makes the reappearance.
Yeah, that's the only way I'm more is I'm not bringing things. That game it's just too heavy to bring up and down the stairs. So I'm going to leave that one downstairs.
It almost comes into the category of exotic PS4 games.
You think so? Exotic?
I was tempted.
What
I was
genre would
tempted
you
to bring
call it?
that.
Like an emo genre? Is that
well, I guess it could be emo. You guys got it dropping in PAL territories. Is this the end of the month, don't you, Nico?
Yeah.
Are you gonna grab another copy?
No.
What the hell's-
I'm good with the good old ESRB copy.
Are we sleeping outside of EB Games, waiting for the launch?
There will be lines. Did I play Amori? Don't ask me silly questions. Of course not. I don't play video games.
That's a lie, Will.
Yeah. Well, no, I put my kid on and let him play while I leave the room and do other things and have the headset on. Oh man, the fishing is hard. But anyway. So where we leave off at? Jason
was going to show the next one.
What you got for us today?
Well, let's see. Okay, I've got some weird variants. So not necessarily super valuable or anything. Just hey, did you know this exists? I find it interesting because it's not really widely. I wanted to say reported on, but who would be reporting on variants? Probably no one. Anyway, so this is the normal, at least ESRB version of Monkey King. Hero is Back, which is a great title in itself. But what's interesting is, so it's got Chinese kind of in the title, right? Just as like a decorative choice in English speaking territories. But what's interesting is that in Region 3 in Hong Kong, where they clearly speak Chinese and English, they removed the Chinese. So an interesting choice for a territory where they speak a lot of Chinese. So I guess that the decorative novelty of it wasn't so novel in Hong Kong, and they actually got rid of the Chinese on the cover. So I think that that's very interesting. There's also a Region 6 in China that kept the Chinese because they primarily speak Chinese, I've heard, in China. So
they speak Chinese in China. Who thought? You know what they call Chinese food in China? Food.
No.
It's
You
just
know
called
what?
food. It's called food.
I thought dogs.
I got a theory on that, Jason. Is that game just in English? Is it in Chinese as well? The Chinese version?
It's actually in English in the Region 3 version too.
Okay, so my theory would be if they were to have sold it with Chinese in Region 3, people would have bought it and got disappointed if it wasn't in Chinese and they got an English version. So maybe that's why they removed it.
I think it's in both though. It's in English and Chinese. So I could see what you're saying, but they're both on disc. So
Or maybe
fair enough.
it's the thing that is written on the cover is something like Table Kitchen or something like that.
No.
So-
Yeah, it was actually.
No.
Or maybe it's Cantonese or something else. But like there might be a logical reason behind it, but
You
interesting.
you can always assume it says kill all the white man. Just
Yeah.
just go with that.
I assume that's what it said. So yeah, it's interesting. That's my choice.
So I'll go with a kinda cover variant too, but it's not a cover variant. I would go with this one, Earth Slash, and you say, okay, what's special about this? This is a normal game, but as you can see, there's something missing. This is a PAL copy, but they
No
forgot
rating.
to put the PEGI on that. This is one of the 4, at least to my knowledge, misprints in Italian copies, because this is an Italian one, of course. And this is missing the logo. There's also a couple of other games. I think one is Groundhog Days, and one other is, can't remember, but not in Italy. Those are UK copies. In Italy, we also have a Borderlands 3 without the title on the spine. Same for Sonic Sonic Forces, sorry, and a Bulletstorm full clip edition without the PS4 logo on the spine. What's interesting is that this is the first print, because there's a second one with the logo also for the Italian copies, while this also the same for Sonic Forces. But for Borderlands 3, the first print is correct. The second one is missing the title on the spine. And apparently in Italy we don't have any exclusive games, but we made our limited editions for both things like the Batman's one or just fucking up things.
Hey, Nicola, there's no publisher logo on there either.
Yeah, there's nothing. They just forgot to add things to the lower part of the template. It's
So-
like on PS3 when the Worms trilogy, they forgot to delete the title of the template. So it
says title.
there's
but,
there's the logo, and on it there's title with a question mark.
just on the things that are missing logo. So obviously I collect Australian PAL and I have all my games laid out Australian PAL first. So of the 1,000 or so I've got, 4 of them don't have the Australian PAL logo on the spine, but then you flip the front cover on and the ratings on the spine. So like these ones do have the ratings on the front. Are they like technically misprints? And it's really weird titles too. They only have one print of them. It's just like the company made a mistake and they're like, oh, well, it's a game that no one's going to buy, so just put it out anyway.
Yeah.
Next game I have, I think you showed this one before, Nicolo, I believe, when you're on last. This is Chicken Police Paint It Red. This game is weird because it's got chickens in it.
And police.
This is as close to cockfighting as you're gonna get on the PS4. Also, it's got some furry elements in there. See, she's dressed like a kitty cat. Are you looking for yours?
No, I'm looking for something similar but worse.
This is basically like a detective noir title. I sat and I watched the whole playthrough so I could pretend that I actually played it. It's a point and click. But Chicken Police rated highly. Everybody loves it seems, according to these grades here. I got it because it was cheap. And it turns out it's still cheap. You can go find this in GameStop for less than $10 right now. But anyway, there you go. Chicken Police, Paint It Red. If you like your noir detective stories, this is it, but with farm animals. What you got for us, Figzo?
Well, I'm going to go on the other end and pull out some expensive titles because I think they're worth talking about in a video like this as well. Because games are expensive for a reason, and this one in particular, it's probably the most expensive PS4 game because copies have sold graded for $10,000. Of course, I'm talking about Fortnite, not Poop Slinger. So if you check grading websites, I think one sold for $11,000 last year US, which I believe is higher than the highest Poop Slinger sale. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was a sealed 9.8 graded wider copy, so you could argue blah blah blah. But it's just absolutely insane to me that a game like Fortnite has become so expensive. Now we do know the backstory on this. So this physical release actually came out before Fortnite. It was released with a game called Build the World. Now, Build the World was a standalone game that was available through this. I think it was like $50 on the store. But with Build the World, they put out a side free DLC called Fortnite, which was the Battle Royale, which everyone became aware of. The thing that made this so expensive, not just being a physical copy, but it's also got some exclusive download codes. I'm assuming they're for skins that were only available in like season 1. These codes alone sell for thousands of dollars on the internet.
It's because you can mine the V-Bucks.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it comes into this whole like market of online skins and secondary things like that, which is technically illegal, but people get around it by just obviously hiding it. So on the back of that, and collectors and the grading scene, like graded copies of this are selling for thousands of dollars. Even used copies, you're looking at like minimum $200, regardless of where you are in the world. Some regions are way more expensive. I just think it's so interesting that a game like this has become so expensive for reasons that are outside of like video game collecting.
It's weird. You post that in any Facebook group, and there's always at least 4 or 5 dickheads. That game's not worth crap. It's free to play.
It's free. Yeah, I've heard that one before.
For the record, the name of the game is Save the World, I believe. Fixie.
Yeah,
but I'm not. I had that game in my hands. It was for $50, but the cover it was opened. The cover was water damaged. And it obviously didn't have the codes with it, so I was like, I'll just pass. I left it on the shelf, but that's a weird one.
What's terrible is that so they had done the first print, I remember, and it sold out, and then the demand was building, and they did a second print in the US, and I actually had a pre-order in. It was like back order, but Amazon US was taking back orders for the reprint, and I placed an order. And I stupidly thinking, oh, this is just going to be a widespread print because Fortnite's getting so popular, I canceled my pre-order. Oof. So I could have had a sealed copy. And now I don't. And I regret that. I have an open copy with used codes. But that's my story of I almost had a sealed Fortnite.
The one that got away. We all got those stories, man. And they hurt. They hurt to recount.
At the end of the day, Jason, if you were going to keep it, the codes would never get used, so there's no difference to having it. So
Absolutely true.
And just before we get on to the next one, I complimented your shirt before we started, Jason. I've noticed it reminds me of the Battleborn logo. I'm getting those vibes.
I could see that. The font does look like that. Yeah, like I got this at I think PlayStation Experience or PlayStation Expo. I think it's Experience PSX, that event that they held in Anaheim a couple times, and they sold like exclusive shirts and that kind of thing there.
Battleborn's going to be a game that collectors buy for the case because it's going to be like 10 cents a copy in the future, which is pretty sad, really. That like games are getting made to copy other games. Like it was made to copy Overwatch, and they just pushed it out in weeks because Overwatch is big. Quick, get it out. We need people buying our skins, and we need to get into this revenue. And they just pushed out a game that didn't even work. Servers, I believe, aren't working shut down today.
Yeah, Overwatch 2 is taking over. I got an Overwatch physical sitting there collecting space on my shelf. Whatever. It is what it is.
A little bit off topic, but speaking of games taking over, Counter-Strike's taking over again, which is fucking awesome. Being a OG Counter-Strike fan, so Counter-Strike right now is like most popular it's ever been, and it's a game that came out 20 years ago.
Is it 20 years old, really?
Yeah.
Well, so Counter-Strike, the current version came out in 2012 or 2013, but then it was CS Source and CSGO or something, and Counter-Strike and Counter-Strike Source, and then they merged into CSGO. Yeah, so the game's been around for like 20 years. Back to PS4. Who was next?
Jason's up next. What you got for us, Jason?
So speaking of, I'm going to continue with the variants kind of trend. So I did watch Figsy, the complete PSVR set episode that you did a couple days ago, which was very cool. I remember, I don't know if it was you or your guest who had mentioned the Kickstarter variant of Tokyo Chronos, which started as a Kickstarter and then limited run. Had it as a slightly wider run. So this is the common white version, but I wanted to also bring on the Kickstarter black cover.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. So not like $10,000 valuable, but this is like around 150 or so on eBay. I think there's only one last time I checked.
Those are both the SRB?
Yep, ESRB. Both limited run, actually. So, yep. There it is.
But again, to get the first one, you had to buy it through the Kickstarter, not through limited run.
Correct. Yeah, you had to back it on Kickstarter, and they shipped it first through the Kickstarter, and then I think like a month or two later they did the limited run open pre-order or whatever it was. Yeah,
that's a pretty game.
So I would love to go with an expensive one, but I don't have any. At least anything.
At least not yet. Maybe in a few years.
Something that I haven't shown before, like the Nightfall or whatever. I could show this one, but I know this could trigger someone. But whatever.
Oh my god! Stop it.
So
is that the most expensive game in your set?
No, it's Gene Rain.
Oh, okay.
The most expensive one.
Gene Rain PS4.
Yeah, I don't have out that, so probably.
I already had it out. So yeah, that's the one that you.
Oh yeah. The Chinese exclusive.
Yeah,
exactly. I've shown already the two other Chinese exclusives, so I'll go with this one. That was kind of popular back in the day. Super Cane Magic Zero. This is actually an Italian game made by a guy that used to write memes and comics on Facebook and whatever. They got really popular and started to make a game that is exactly like his cover, his comics and whatever. This is an RPG, really stupid, really nonsensical. It should be even be pretty good. It also it only got a release for some reason in Asia, even though being an Italian game. And this is the most difficult to find version because it's the full English one, both on the side, both on the cover and on the back one. This is full English with no Chinese and whatever. And it has only been released, to my knowledge, in like Malaysia, Thailand, and some other
Indonesia.
country, Indonesia probably, yes. But
Singapore.
it's really, really hard to find without the Chinese font on the cover.
I really love a game with no age restriction badge, and yeah, that's
Yeah, that's true.
a lot of the Chinese games. Some Chinese games do, some Chinese games don't. I don't know how or why they make those decisions, but it's one. It just looks good. In fact,
I think they only put the age restrictions for the mature games only, whatever, because I have some of them, and the only one with the age restriction is Ghost Runner, that is 18 plus.
I can familiarize some PS3 games I've got with the M rating, the Asian ones, but a lot of like the mainland China games that don't have the English will have the ratings on them. So maybe it's an Asian thing in like Southeast Asia where they sort of have like Singapore and Hong Kong and Manila and Jakarta sort of have their own releases.
Jason, you still got that Monkey King handy?
I do. So
One of them's 0 plus. Is it?
That's
Good.
Korean.
That's
Well, no,
Korean.
it's Hong Kong.
Hong
So
Kong.
Southeast Asia, so Malaysia, Singapore, and Philippines, I think all of those territories have no rating kind of requirements to show on the box. So those will be totally clean. And Super Kane Magic Zero was that the title? That one comes from Southeast Asia, so there's no rating. So Monkey King, and also those are often full English, right? Either full Chinese or full English, or I think just full English actually. Yeah, but so this Monkey King variant comes from Hong Kong, and so that's the Hong Kong rating system down there.
Oh, look, he lifted up.
Lift it
You
up.
can't see that. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
0
Have you
plus.
noticed, and you might even realize this, if you buy a game from PlayAsia, they actually put their own sticker on it, and it's a rating sticker. I'm like, I had a copy of Lost in the Rain, like it's $500-700 game. It had a PlayAsia sticker on it. I didn't realize it for years, and I bought another copy that didn't have the sticker, thinking it was a variant, only to be told that that was a sticker.
Do you mean that barcode sticker that covers the rating, like where like it's like a number?
Is it on the plot? I'm sorry.
It's on the artwork. I'll send you a photo after the podcast. I'll have to go and find one, but you'll see it and be like, oh wow, like that's on thousands of my games.
I'm like,
So I think that would be to combat, getting in games without ratings, and then okay, well, it needs the rating to be sold in this country, so we'll put this thing on it, and certain things like that. Hey guys, just a little bit off topic. I wanted to bring attention to a question from chat. So Mark was saying Final Fantasy 16 will not be getting a PS4 physical release. Has there been any indication when the PS4 library will be finalized? I wasn't even aware of that. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that.
When's it dropping?
I'm assuming in the next 2 years or so, but like to even announce that they're not going to release it on PS4 says to me they're designing the game to run on the PS5, not to run on the PS4, which as a gamer, I'm glad. That's awesome. I'm going to play Final Fantasy 16. I got a PS5. I'd love to play a game that, can't run on a PS4 because it's using the PS5 to its capacity.
I wonder if it'll be available on digitally for PS4. We'll see. I haven't played a Final Fantasy game since the first 15 minutes I put into 7, so who cares what I think about it?
On Final Fantasy, guys, there is a big news, I guess, section that happened this week. Let's counter that into the PlayStation Collectors Podcast news because that's what it is.
The PCP news. Let's go. What's
I wanted to talk about the Final Fantasy 1 to 6 HD collection for PS4. So it was announced at like midnight for the PAL North American regions. It's sold out in minutes. You make me laugh, Phil. And then PlayAsia announced a version that was actually cancelled. So I wanted to talk about this game. I wanted to bring up a point that Square Enix are a company that like to make money. If they see that their product's getting sold on eBay, they'll make an announcement that they're going to reprint a certain amount of copies. So in my opinion, this collection is going to be available for a very long time through Square Enix. I would not be paying eBay prices. I want this game. I'm sure every single person listening to this podcast right now wants this game in their collection. Yeah, let me know you guys' thoughts on this one.
It's also currently available on PlayAsia, if I'm not mistaken.
It was cancelled. The PS4.
Whoa,
They've refunded
really?
everyone who purchased copies, and now it's only available on the Switch. They said a digital copy will still be coming.
Interesting. Oh wow. I'd like it, but yeah, you're not wrong about Square Enix and their money grubbing. Hence, the PS1 versions of some of their games still being available. Are they still available, or is it are they done? Did they finally run through that stack? Do you know?
You can go on their website and buy brand new PS1 games for American copies, anyway.
I still like one. I just want one.
Did either of you guys pre-order the 1 to 6 collection?
I did. I was awake at the right time, and I got a pre-order in for the US version. Like, I was a little bit skeptical, but it said limited print, won't be sold outside of the Square Enix website. So I actually did get a pre-order in.
Nice, man.
The PS4 version, yeah.
A lot of
It
people
was quite an expensive release too. They sold it $100 US, I believe.
It was like 75 or 80 US. I think it was 80 US dollars. It was something up there, yeah. So I was hesitant, but yeah.
It translated to like 130 Australian or something ridiculous. Sorry,
you get 6 games though, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but you're getting 6 like games that were made in the early 90s.
What they're remastered pixel games,
Yeah,
correct?
Pixel remasters. No, but I mean they're widescreen and all that. But I mean, yeah, they're old games, but these are beloved old games, so you can kind of see. I mean, Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy, and there are people out there who are going to freak out over it. So I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy fan, but I am a PS4 collector, and I'm into limited exclusive, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so I went for it. But yeah, I kind of agree with you, Figsy, that Square Enix definitely likes to make money. Like, I don't know why they canceled the physical Asia retail release for PS4 when clearly there's a demand. So I would have to imagine that, knowing what the demand is like, Square Enix would probably want to do limited reprints to meet the demand. I imagine they would say things like, hey, due to unprecedented demand, we're going to do a limited amount more. Maybe they'll pre-sell out again, create more hype, and do another run. I imagine that's where it's headed, but you never know with Phoenix. Like, it's a mystery why they even canceled the retail release.
I got a take on that. So Square Enix have North American and they have a European branch. Have they got an Asian branch that you're aware of?
Yeah, they're this company. So yeah, but I mean, they also have like an Asia, like a Southeast Asian kind of. I don't know if those are published out of the Japan branch, but they release Southeast Asian localized packaging and all that.
Well, the reason I asked that was maybe the reason they cancelled it is because they've actually seen the demand behind this game and they didn't want PlayAsia getting a cut of it. And they want, if we cancel this, we can sell all the copies through our own website, which logistically, from a business sense to shareholders and saying things in meetings makes sense,
Yeah, I mean, if they intend to do more rounds of limited quote-unquote reprints, that would be a sound decision for that, because I'm sure they do lose out to, the importing kind of market, and PlayAsia and eBay and whoever else. So that does make total sense. Like, they are limiting themselves to the local sales to Southeast Asian kind of residents in Hong Kong and other territories out there. But it could be that, the American and Western general kind of audience and collectors out there, or it could be that the numbers just don't add up to release it there, and they go through this other kind of experimental rounds of pre-order kind of route instead.
Nicolo and Will, did you want to add anything to that title?
No,
I want it, but no, I'm not going to pay. 60 is my limit for a new game, a new title.
Yeah, like I might open my wallet up because of what it is, but I'm nowhere near going to pay more than retail for that. Like, I'm not going to be paying scalper prices.
No, retail's moving closer and closer to 70. It's going to becoming the new number.
Hey guys, I've got some more
now in
news.
Europe. The retail price is 80 euros for a new game.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's stupidly high.
So I need to thank the viewers of this podcast. So last week I brought the attention of a eBay reseller that was selling reprinted fake games. eBay have actually banned that seller. So thank you guys for reporting this guy. However, this guy's just jumped on another eBay account and he's selling the same games on another eBay account. I've reported him, but I'm going to bring the account up again. So it's the exact same game I showed you guys last week. Blue Reflection Second Light. This seller's now selling through another eBay account. The name is below, SMOLBEANO. This account, if you look through, every single game he's selling is fake. He's selling games that had UK releases that didn't get released in Australia. He's making his own copies, reselling them. This is the third eBay account he's had now. So, yeah, if eBay aren't going to do anything about it, let's get the community behind it to ban these people. Like, they shouldn't be out there. And again, thanks to everyone who's reported him in the past, and let's get him banned again.
Small Beano. Oh man, it takes all the time. He's playing the shell game, and I'm pretty sure after this next one gets banned, he'll pop up another. But don't worry, we'll be.
No, I know that
take
eBay
him
will
down.
IP ban people at certain points. They'll go to the effort of like banning an address to the point where like you could sell a house and someone could buy it, and if it's on the ban list, like eBay won't let that person take it over unless you've got like proof and everything. So,
Can a VPN get you around that? Yeah. Who knows?
Probably yes. Probably you start using a VPN.
That's one.
And now I'm from Russia.
That's one dedicated scammer. Shit. But no, I don't have any stories for the news. But yeah, get rid of that guy. Fuck him.
Azo wants to talk about another game.
Is it? I think it's my turn. And this.
We'll have another round of games, and then we'll bring some homework in because we have a really interesting question this week. I think new viewers are going to really love this one.
You know, we were talking about how I was talking about how I love a game without a age restriction, and this one just came in today. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do my best to read it in its home language. This is Girls und Panzer Dream Tank match, and this is based on an anime. I think this is a Play Asia title, if I'm not mistaken. I had this on my list forever, and I forgot about it. And someone reminded me of it, and I just had to have it. But yeah, basically, it's a tank battle, and a bunch of girls each represent their tank academy, and they just like any high school collegiate or athletic event, they just go head to head and they just blow each other up and in their tanks and whatnot. But these are like World War II tanks, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So I got tanks from World War I, World War II, and just go out there and blow each other up. I'm actually going to play this one because I really dug the anime. Hopefully, I got some pretty DLC. Hopefully, I can get to a frilly new skirt or something. We'll see. But there you go.
It's giving me like Valkyria Chronicle vibes.
No, it's I wouldn't say it's an RPG. It's just tank battle. Like you've seen World of Tanks, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, same shit, but throw some anime girls from a tank fighting academy in there, and yeah, Girls und Panzer. How's my accent on that, Nico? I mean, you're the closest thing we got to Germany in.
You gotta be probably even harder, like Panzer. And now that we got every German viewer angry, we can go on.
So I'm going to talk about a game that was actually done through limited run games, but isn't technically part of the limited run set, which, as the statement alone is weird. Like, they make their own games that aren't part of their set. It's like, what's the even point behind this? If you go on their website today, you can order 30, 40 games. Only 10 of them are going to be limited run games. The rest of them will be done by someone else, but sold through their store. But this one here was an April Fool's joke, which is weird. So it technically was done through them. So it is
Green Lava Studios Volume 1. Doesn't even have a publisher on the front. Really weird. Now, the reason I bought this one is because I've got the platinum for this game. So this includes 3 games. My Name is Mayo, My Name is Mayo 2, and the Massaging. So in the trophy hunting community, at least a few years ago, My Name is Mayo was definitely renowned as like the easiest platinum. It was almost like a meme, which is, I think, why this was then an April Fool's release. Oh, excuse me. And it was followed up a year later, which I believe Jason's going to show you guys, volume number 2.
Jesus.
Yeah, so just a really, really weird game that got a physical release. Like, you know, these games aren't worth 99 cents, let alone 30, 40 bucks that you're paying for a copy.
So I do have volume 2 on my shelf, but I do not have it in my stack. But it is interesting that you point out, you know, a limited run, like how you were saying that, you know, there are so many games on limited run games website that aren't
It's on the back cover.
Exactly. So you still see the name
Not on the spot.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's weird. Like there's layers, right? There used to just be numbered limited run releases, and they're all numbered on the spine. And then there was the distribution line where, you know, they're saying that they're selling them on the behalf of other publishers. But even when they do that, I think in almost every case they're still pressed by limited run. So they're all still limited run, which is kind of funny in the end. But then there's a whole nother layer where they say that, you know, they're selling guest releases, you know, or whatever it is that they're distributing. Like in the case of Shenmue 3, it really was a deep silver press disc that they put in their collector's edition. But in other cases, it's a little bit murkier. So I kind of want to show you a couple interesting examples there. Let's see. Sorry about that. I thought I had it closer, but here they are. Okay. So they've got like an agreement or a distribution arrangement with Wired Entertainment or Wired Productions right now. So they had previously done, Wired had previously done a couple titles, Deliver Us the Moon and Those Who Remain. So these were at retail in the US before.
Cal had retail releases as well.
Exactly. So these had retail releases. These are the retail releases, actually. But then they said, hey, we're going to sell titles on Wired's behalf on their website. And they sold what looks like the same releases for the most part, right? Except they're not. So it's interesting. So the retail releases in the US had French and English. You could see easily from the ratings, right? So these are the retail versions. The limited run versions were English only. And if you look at the back, they're pretty much identical. But there is the tiny limited run logo that they add. So
Bring it up.
That increases the price by like 30 bucks, guys.
basically. So I mean, these are kind of going for the same price right now on eBay, to be honest. But it's interesting. They're not the same. They're very incredibly similar, but they're not.
Can you bring it up a little higher?
There
you
it is.
go. So which one's the one
that's slightly different too?
Exactly.
Which one would you say are the ones to chase for the collectors out there?
It's tough to say. Like I would probably say the limited run versions. I can't imagine they had pressings of more than 1,000 because these were pre-existing games, and they probably didn't even all sell through on the site. But they're probably about equal, to be honest. It's just interesting from a collector standpoint, for me at least, that like these pointless variations exist of games that were already out for maybe a year or so at that point. And one more I want to add to that is Tetris Effect. It's another one that was already. I'm sorry, I'm bundling these all together. They just kind of all blend in my mind.
Yeah, I
Tetris,
agree. Yeah.
it was already out for, I want to say close to a year or so. And then they did a limited run version, not a numbered release. It's the same exact game, except it's the limited run pressing of the same exact game. There is like a hollow foil kind of insert. I doubt this sold well because anybody who wanted it at that point probably already got it. But yeah, not the same, but the same. So for variant chasers, I would say seek these out. They're not necessarily at this point worth more one versus the other, but in the end, I think you'll find, like at least in the case of Tetris Effect, there's going to be fewer out there with the limited run pressing, since there was really no justifiable reason to do one.
Jason, while we're on the limited run topic, I haven't pulled these games out, but there's different King of Fighter releases that limited run did. One of them is part of the limited run set. The other one's not. It's the same publisher. Like where's the consistency there? Like, it's the same game. I remember buying this other one, and I was so surprised that, you know, all my limited run games in a row. I'm like, I got this King of Fighters one. I bought the other one, and it didn't have the number on this one. Like,
it's very confusing. Yeah.
What year is that game? What year King of Fighters?
I'll grab them out. But while I'm doing that, do you want to show another one, Nicolo?
Okay. Yes. About the limited run, I was thinking about Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. It is distributed by Limited Run on behalf of PM Publishers. And I think it's a game that only, at this point, has only been released through Limited Run outside. There's like 2K copies. I think that will be going to be pricey in the future because nobody's getting that game, so kind of strange. I'm just going really quick to the one that I needed to get once Will showed the Chicken Police, because that, talking about chickens and talking about Funbox, we also have this beautiful game right here that is Chicken Range. This is a flash game from the early 2000s, and
That's what
it's
it looks
really
like.
terrible. You can see also the details, like what the fuck, they inverted the two languages and they merged it. They don't even put the effort to make it.
They're like Spanish and Portuguese. It's the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. Also the same flag and whatever. But what I really wanted to share is another really hard to find version of a game. Like we already shown the Peggy Nightfall, the Peggy Space Blades. They're really hard to find, and thanks to Chris Sido to pointing this out for me. This is Roller Coaster Tycoon Joyride. It's a game that I've just heard about, never seen an actual copy. And if you look online, there's only US copies for like cheap. This is a PAL copy, and this is really strange because it's multi-language. There's English, French, Spanish, German, and Italian, and it's pretty much random because this box is in French, this box is in German, something around here is in Italian, something is just in English. It's really random.
I love it.
And this has been technically published by Atari, but distributed by Big Ben, that is a French the publisher. For some reason, it's a publisher that publish all over Europe, so you can find Palita, Palesp, French copies, German copies, whatever, only like for the tennis game, for the WRC games. For some reason, they decided to do something really old style with both the ratings, all the languages, whatever, but releasing this game probably only in France with a stupidly low print run, because I couldn't find any copies online outside of this one. And the disc is also a full PAL disc, so it's kind of strange. This is a really hard to find variant right now. So
It almost looks like a collector's edition with the multiple regions on the front.
Yeah, but it's a standalone. It's a standalone release. The only other game that I could find with this kind of release, a couple of other really small releases that are these two: Everrich, Project Eden, and Numantia, also from Reco Games Technologies, the one behind Toro, are the only ones I could think of with the double rating on the front.
And they look at the inconsistencies. There's a big space between the ratings on
Big
one and the
space
other
or
one.
whatever.
Hasn't got it.
What kind of game is Numantia? That looks interesting.
Numantia is
Gladiators?
no, it's a strategy game, but kind of old style with Roman empires and barbarians. It's also the only PS4 game from History Channel.
Yeah, I
While
just
on
saw. I
PS3 there
just.
are something like
Yeah, 4 on
four or five,
PS3.
something like that.
I saw that History Channel. That's nice.
Hey, well, before we get into our homework, I just wanted to show those King of Fighters games.
Yeah, I would like to see them because I'm looking for King of Fighters games.
So this is the one that was part of the limited run set. This was actually a PS2 game, which was a really expensive title. So I was glad to have bought the PS4 physical. It's the King of Fighters collection, the Orachi Saga, and it is number 274 of the limited run set. So this one includes 5 King of Fighters games. It's 94 to 98. So it's really good value for money if you're a King of Fighters fan. And then they made a physical of 2002. So I'm like, sweet, I can add this to the collection too. But no, this is not a limited run game. Even though they did it through their website, it's an SNK title. So, like, where's the consistency? Like, it's the same SNK. Like, you know, it makes absolutely no sense to me. And being a company like Josh and Doug are collectors, we know that. You know, most of their stuff should be made for collectors. Like, there shouldn't be inconsistencies like that. That annoys me as a collector.
You know, I think that part of what it may be is that Pix and Love had their own edition of it for Europe, which was sold on the Pix and Love website and was also sold, I think, like on Amazon and regular retail channels through Pix and Love. So I think that that could have something to do with it. You know, because I know that Josh has been pretty open about not wanting to add titles, even though he's contradicted himself in this area. He said before he hasn't wanted to add titles to the numbered collection, which is available through other publishers physically. And so that might have had something to do with it. I know that like
Asterisks.
Lots of asterisks. Yes, so many asterisks. I think it's like when he's afraid of being called out on social media. Like Pix and Love is like, you know, the European equivalent, you could say in some ways to
someone who only collects North American games. Like, it is an exclusive limited run game, but then like to someone else who's collects worldwide stuff, it's not. So I can't understand that point. But then when you get stuff like that, it just doesn't really make sense. You know, if you're getting one series, keep the series all the same, or don't.
About this, there's a ton of games that had received a limited run release, but it's also available retail in some other country in the world. Maybe it's just little single country like Japan, Germany, France, whatever, but there's a ton of games that are limited and then just a retail somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
Now, gentlemen, we've got another section on this podcast. This show's going a bit long. It's been heaps of fun, but let's get into some homework. So I asked each of you guys a really interesting question this week, and I will put it into chat. And if you're watching this later on, let us know in the comments. If you could bring one game or collection of games to be released as a physical title on PS4, it can be absolutely anything, what would it be? So we'll start with Jason. What would your dream PS4 game be?
So I'm going to cheat a little bit because my dream PS4 game does not exist in any form at this point. But I'm a big fan. I'm like a Sega fanboy. You know, like I grew up on the Master System, the Sega Genesis, the Dreamcast. And when the Shenmue 3 announcement happened at the PlayStation press conference at E3 2015, I was actually in the audience and I was freaking thrilled. Like I was ecstatic. Like I can't believe there's a Shenmue 3 coming out. And I mean, I backed it on Kickstarter. It was like one of the most successful Kickstarters. And then I think like 20 people bought it once it came out in stores. And then that killed all hopes of a Shenmue 4, right? So everybody who wanted it backed it on Kickstarter. And, you know, then nobody bought it once it came out. And so my dream game would be Shenmue 4. Probably no one's going to, you know, make that based on the sales of Shenmue 3. But that's my choice. I'm hoping there will be a Kickstarter for Shenmue 4. Everyone will back it, and then it'll sell 2 copies once it hits retail.
And you've got one of the 2 sealed.
Definitely.
No, you got both of them, one sealed and one to play.
Sealed, and I'll download it.
And Nikolai, what would your dream PS4 game be?
So for me, till I think 1 month ago, this would have been my choice because I would have never thought to own this physically at this point. I love this game, but this is not at this point the one I'd love. The one that I'd love is Jetspunk. Don't know if you ever heard about it or played it. It's comedic, let's say, walking simulator adventure game that it's a big parody of spy movies from the 60s, especially James Bond, with all the crazy stuff. And but the thing that is really good for me is the humor. It's like watching an episode of Family Guy. That it's the rhythm of the jokes. So like every 30 seconds, there's something stupid, something random, something nonsensical happening, and that's lasts for like 2 to 3 hours, and it's always funny.
What were they? Were the previous releases? Is there PS2? These PS2 games, PS3, PS1 games?
This is a PS4 one.
Oh no, I'm saying
Okay.
Are there PS1 games of this series available, or PS2
of Jetspunk? No,
Yeah.
just PS4. It's I think it was 2012 or something like that PC release, then got ported to the PS4 in a director's cut.
I've
But
never heard
you-
it.
I haven't heard of it before either.
Yeah, Jetspank.
Jetspunk, yes,
I gotta look
like
that up.
cyberpunk but with jets.
Oh, Jetspunk. Okay.
Jetspunk.
I gotcha.
Well, how about you? If you could have any game physical on the PS4, you bring anything over, what would it be?
Yeah, there's lots of Batman games out there. I'm a huge Batman fan, in case you guys didn't know. I would like to see a Batman game based on the animated series like we got on the PS2. I don't know if you guys watched the Batman animated series, but great piece of animation. I would like one to see a game PS4 made in this style. I just like I like Paul Dini. I like the whole thing, and these are okay. I mean, they're decent titles, but if you could attach this art style to an Arkham or the Arkham type titles, I think it'd be a knock out of the park. I mean, Batman games are a dime a dozen these days, but no one's done one in this style since PS2. So I wish. I love the Batman animated series, but who are these made by? These are both Ubisoft games. But yeah, that's my wish. That's my my hopes and dreams. What about you, Figsy? What do you got for us?
So I love my collections and trilogies. So I'm bringing a PS2 classic, getting remade on trilogy for PS4. It's already available digitally, so this could actually happen. I've actually found a mock template that a fan made for the PS3, so I'm going to show you guys that. And it would be the Level 5 Studio Collection or trilogy, which would be Dark Cloud 2, and Rogue Galaxy. So I have played this on PS4 with trophies. Absolutely amazing to play some of my favorite RPGs again. But to own a physical copy, I would absolutely love that. So that's the first one that came to mind. I mentioned this actual question to a few people, and I got some really interesting responses. You can definitely think outside of the box for this. So I'm looking forward to seeing what people come up with in the comments later on.
Is Rogue Galaxy part of the Dark Cloud universe?
I'm not entirely sure. I know it's done by Level 5 Studios, so it's the same people that made it.
You guys will have to excuse me. I gotta go. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I will. So I'll show you guys another game while we're at it. Jason and Nicolo, you guys might actually have this game or one of the games from this collection in your pile. It's a German game. Germany has so many games. But the reason I want to talk about this is it kind of stems to a genre of games, which is like PC games from the 90s and the 2000s. Have so many games have been ported over to PS4. Now I do own Bridge Constructor like as a physical copy by itself. It's an early PC game because I played it when I was in high school.
Yep.
We've got a version with portals and constructor strods. Like,
I mean, like this might be a little bit of fun, but it's certainly not worth paying more than a couple of dollars for if you just want it for an actual game. And there's so many different German releases like this.
I just want to mention there's actually a Peggy only version of that one
Yeah.
too.
Ooh, interesting.
Yes.
It looks
There's
so
also
much.
standalone versions of the at least the first one, the base game. There's also a standalone game.
Yeah, the German standalone of the first one I think had a German retail, and it was sold on as a Peggy through Game Fairy.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Game Theory had those packs that went around the cases. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
If we want to speak about piggy releases of German games, there's also the loophole, the rabbit hole of Austrian releases. So they're kinda in German, but they don't have the USK logo, but the piggy one. This is a rabbit hole that nobody wants to go down.
I mean, aesthetically, I'd prefer that. So
Yeah.
you know,
That's why many people is going down that path.
So I think I'm up next. So this is interesting. I didn't know about this for a long time. So there had been in most territories a collection of Dead Island 1 and 2 on
Yes.
in one package, right? So in that package, there was Dead Island 1 on disc and Dead Island 2 as a download code in the same package. But Dead Island Riptide was not available on disc. It was a download code only. But I didn't realize in Germany they were available as a 2-pack. So Dead Island Riptide is on disc. And they were sold in this kind of cardboard slip sleeve. And this was at retail in Germany, I think widely.
That's Austrian.
Austrian.
So I believe those actual type of cases, so they're correct me if I'm wrong, but Italy, Spain, France, and Germany have releases like that, and they're not official Sony releases. They're done by a retailer that have too many copies of the game, so they put together their own packs and sell them like that. I know, like supermarkets and different game shops and stuff do that.
I've seen that before. Yeah, they do that like in Walmart and places out here too. But in this case, there was no other release of Riptide, so this is like a deep silver actual package together kind of bundle. But I've seen what you're talking about, and it does look like one of those.
About that, here in Italy, we have a different level of this kind of releases. There's a retailer that is making its own limited collector's editions. I don't have one on hand, but it has like the Rocket League Ultimate Collector Edition with the toy car, or a lot of games like Hitman 2, Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, MK11 with a T-shirt and something like. It's not Sony official. It's just made by this retailer for some reason, and whatever. I'm going with let's say an old classic, something that, like Toro, has been through the roof, like for price and for, let's say, sought after, but now nobody gives a fuck about that. Good old Demon's Age. This game,
copy. There's a German one as well.
This is a Peggy one. Yes, the German copy has been pulled. I think it was the original press of the game. This has been pulled from the market, like even before eating it. I don't think it ever sold like that.
Dibs for the raid. Really appreciate it, man. Hope you had a good stream.
And for developer reusing assets of a previous game but with a different owner or something like that, and this has gone out of control while it was a German exclusive press. Then it came this one. This is the English one that I don't know if someone found a stash of this laying around now. It's a 30 euro game, but what's something interesting that I've noticed way after
Oh, it's Funbox, of course. It
Fun
must be terrible.
This has never been officially sold by Funbox, but it's pressed by Funbox for some reason, and you can only find it through resellers on eBay. It has never been sold through official, let's say, market. But now it's kind of common, but it's still very interesting game, very interesting piece.
Yeah, with that one, they were using stolen game assets, like you were talking about, Nicolo, and so it didn't get released because of the stolen assets. I think it was digitally released, and the digital release was pulled. The retail discs were pressed, and they couldn't distribute them because of the legal issue. And so that was when it was through Big Moon, the original publisher, and Big Moon went bankrupt. So someone, acquired those discs, and I guess that they didn't worry about the legal hassle, or maybe didn't apply to them anymore. I'm not sure. So yeah, it did get the kind of release you're talking about. But if you notice too, I've got the Peggy and the USK version here, and both of these are sealed, but neither of them have the official PlayStation seal on them. So like they were sealed by some other means.
Yes.
Which is very
Yes.
odd.
Well, that's interesting. Are they Y sealed or are they heat shrink sealed or?
They're Y sealed, but they're
Yes,
not.
they're white.
Would not with the PlayStation strip.
Okay, like because if you look at a lot of Australian games, we have a mixture of Y sealed and then you've got the strip as well. So, but then I've received games before and the plastic will be different. So like it's okay. This wasn't done by the warehouse.
Super weird. Yeah, but I think that's what happened. Like someone did acquire their inventory and then they did whatever they did with it.
I want to bring up one of the most expensive retail games. That, of course, is Godzilla. Now, this game has been expensive pretty much since day dot for PS3 and PS4. A few reasons behind that. It was not a good game, so this did not sell very well. Obviously, didn't get a second printing or anything. Quickly after that, we have, fast forward a few years, licensing issues and things have gone wrong, and suddenly it's been pulled from stores. So the only way to get a physical copy is to get a physical one. Since then, copies have consistently been selling for $150 to $300 US. I made a recent search on eBay, and there were over 100 copies sold in the last 90 days for that price point between $150 to $400, which brings up some interesting points. This is not a rare game. Like, there's hundreds of copies online. Most people who have copies paid more than retail for them, so they expect a higher amount for their game. Like if you are after this, just hold out because you're eventually going to come across one. It mightn't be retail, but it's going to be on that lower end of the $100 to $150 mark. And that's an interesting point of like what makes a game so expensive. It's not a rare game. It's an expensive game. So like, it's such an interesting point. What do you guys think about that?
I passed on a $130 copy just 4 days ago. I was like, no, I can't. I can't bring myself to spend that much money. But you're not wrong. It's not. It's readily available. If you want it, it's out there. You're just gonna have to pay the price.
But it used to be kind of rarish because I remember getting a copy for like 15 euros sealed and putting on eBay for like 150 just to flip some money since I was not working yet. And I sold it instantly. And I was the only one on eBay Europe to do that. But as a guy told me once, something is rare until people realize they can make money out of it. And now it's full. The market is flooded with copies.
Yeah, like it's.
And I agree with that point, Nicola.
Like
people would have seen your sale and listed their copies for sale.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jason.
It's one of those that's like notorious. It's got the notoriety. It's well known title, and so people it just inflates the demand and the price, and it feels a little artificial. But like you said, Figsy, like it's no longer available. You can't get it anymore. So there is that kind of allure, but really, yeah, it's there. It's out there in large numbers. You can find it whenever you want to find it. You're just going to overpay for it because that's the market value.
What's a PS3 copy going for these days? The PAL.
In Australia, you're looking at $300 for a PS3 copy.
80 to 100 euros, depending on the
Excuse me
region
for a second.
and the language.
With the PS3 copy, is it rare? Is it rarer than the?
Rarer, I don't think. I mean, yes, probably it's has received a more limited print run than the PS4. Also, it's European exclusive, at least for the West market. And there's also a Japanese, way cooler version of the game.
Have you guys played it?
Nope.
I haven't played that Japanese way cooler version. It's Godzilla Versus. Like, I've heard it's much better, but I did play the Godzilla retail release over here, and it wasn't great. I mean, I haven't played it recently. I just remember thinking I'm never going to play this again. It's not very good.
Like most games that come in and out of my collection, I put about 15, 30 minutes into it, and I still got the save. I still got the save on my PS5 or PS4, just to say I had it. But no, it wasn't a very good game. It's like it's just you go over here, you smash this, and you go over here and you smash this. I don't even think I think I did fight one monster, but no, it's not a great game. It is what it is, though. I've run out of weirdo crazy games, so I just brought some of my latest pickups. Bladed Fury.
I actually seen that this morning in your post, and I thought to myself, I've never seen that before. It looks cool.
Yeah, but it's by PM Games. I guess it's kind of steep. It's steep. It's a, what do they call it? A hack and slash? Yeah, hack and slash beat 'em up, I guess. Vertical or excuse me, horizontal scroller, and yeah, just some ninja broad with the sword, and you just go around kicking ass. But yeah, this one came today. No, actually, no, this one came earlier in the week.
It's
but
also
yeah.
a cover variant for the European cover is different.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the background is different. It's like yellowish.
But yeah, there's that game, Bladed Fury. This one just came in today. I was happy to add that one to the collection. All right, Jason, what you got for us?
So I'm gonna pair two together, and I'll make it quick because I know that we've been going for a while here. But
yeah, I was just gonna say we'll have one more round of showing games if you guys wanted to pull out another really exciting one.
Cool. Yeah. So these are two, which are wide releases in Europe. So there's PEGI releases that are available out there, and obviously there's NTSC too. But so these are two not necessarily widely known ESRB variants, both only released in Latin America. So you can find, I think, both of these in Mexico. Other parts of Latin America also got the Unravel collection, but yeah, so no US releases of either of these. The Saint Seiya, I guess as it's more commonly known game here, that it really isn't going for much on eBay at all. It's pretty cheap and always available from what I've seen, but it's really weird. Like you won't find it in US retail or any place normal. But the Unravel collection, much more uncommon than ESRB. So yeah, for ESRB collectors, these are two to seek out, I think.
Hey, Jason, what's interesting about the Saint Seiya Soldier's Soul is for PS3 collectors, that's one of the last games that North American collectors have on their PS3 list. So it is actually quite expensive on the PS3 and quite desired. But if you flip to the PS4, I don't think it will ever get to that point because how many full set North American PS4 collectors are going to be out there?
Yeah, exactly. I've got the PS3 one as well, and I paid a pretty low price at the time for it, but I didn't even realize that it was up there in terms of rarity or price.
Well, the only reason being is I know personally 5 or 6 people that was the last game for them to get for a full set. And because of reasons like this, a list goes around on the internet and suddenly, you realize, oh, that is actually hard to get. And yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, like Teslagrad is one of those too that people don't even realize are out there, and then for PS3 it's one of the last ones that they seek out.
So just on Teslagrad, this is a PlayStation collectors podcast, but the PAL Teslagrad on the Wii U is a $500 game. So it's absolutely crazy. If you compare it to a PS4 copy, which is like $5.
Yeah.
It's
So really, is it the game people are buying, or is it just what it is? Like,
Teslagrad is the only physical Sodesco game for the NTSC collecting. I scooped up a really cheap one. I got a really rather inexpensive one from some seller on Walmart. But after I bought it, it was weird. His prices went up, so I got a sealed one sitting on the shelf.
Obviously, which are the other two? One is Adam Ventures, and the other there's a third one for
no,
PS3,
we had
but
a few for the PS3. Adam Venture,
I can't remember which one is the third one.
Tower of Guns.
Tower of Guns. Yeah, Tower of Guns.
But yeah, those are power. But yeah, we didn't get either of those over here physical. We only got Teslagrad.
And that's it for my last game. I would have chosen something strange, but I'm kind of running out of games, so I'm going for this one. This is, let's say that Germany is not the only country in Europe receiving a lot of strange and crazy releases. There's also Spain. Among the, let's say, famous, pricey, whatever, I picked this one just because it's more interesting for me. El Mundo de Nubla, World of Nubla. This is a game from PlayStation Talents. Also, I think most of, if not every single Spain exclusive physical is from PlayStation Talents. That is a kind of academy of PlayStation in Spain for indie developers. And what's really interesting about this one, this is a game made by a museum. The Madrid museum, that is the Thyssen Bornemisza, whatever, probably butchered the name. They made this game using kind of the artwork, the pictures and the paintings they have in the museum. It's a terrible game. I've played it. It's like 1 hour platinum, 1 hour game. It's just a kind of walking simulator with some puzzles. It's pretty bland, just for a couple of sections like this one with the elephant. But it's kind of interesting. Just not one of the usual Spain exclusive you see, like Dogchild, Maldita Castilla, or whatever. But kind of interesting one to own.
I wouldn't mind having that. That's pretty cool. Who's got more exclusives? You say Italy, France, Spain,
Germany.
Spain and Germany.
No.
We don't have, again. We do not
Yeah,
have exclusives.
I'm not. I'm not.
We just have misprints. We just have made up collector's editions and things like that. But Germany is like has something like 60 to 70 game exclusives to Germany.
Yeah,
Germany has some really bad looking games.
Yeah, well, what's that one? The one that with
This
gold, Bard's Gold.
Yeah,
No, Bard's Gold is the ugliest cover.
Yeah.
I have that here. Look at this motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's Snow White and the Seven Naughty Boys level bullshit right there.
I had Rush Hour here too, but they're, oh man, they have so much bad. We don't have to talk about it, but oh man, like seriously,
Examates. Yeah.
Like,
They were not even trying.
yeah.
I got another game I want to talk about that I actually used to play on my mobile phone back in the day, which is quite hilarious. Mad Tower Tycoon. The iOS game that I used to play was a game where you build a story with like 100 stories, and this is practically the same thing.
Yes.
And they made it a physical PS4 game.
It's like €4 game that nobody buys.
Yeah. But us collectors out there are like, that looks like my type of game.
But sorry about
and
speaking
we can
awesome,
literally show 1,000 different games and like still be talking about obscure, exotic, weird PS4 games because there is so much out there.
speaking of awesome covers, Freedom Finger, I think is the best one out there. I mean, it's crazy in every single part of it. I've also played that, so it's bad. It's bad on so many levels.
Got inside artwork as well.
Yeah.
Pull my finger is more like.
And if you look at the manual, the last pages, it's the entire code of the game.
Oh wow!
like the entire code of the game.
I respect for it having
more
a
and
manual
more
today.
and more pages.
I love that.
I gotta say the Freedom Finger box artwork. If you look at the back of Poop Slinger, remarkably
It's the same
similar.
guy, yeah.
Yeah, there's no chance it's not the same guy.
Hey, gentlemen, this has been an absolute blast. Nicolo, Jason, thanks so much for you guys coming back on the podcast. If you guys want to see more of these guys, I've linked below their full episodes, so you can definitely go check it out. Some of the most enjoyable episodes of the series so far, so be sure to check them out. Next week, guys, we'll be having a similar episode. However, it will be PS3 related. We've gathered some pretty serious PS3 collectors. We've got Kevin Walters, Ricky Andre, and Tristan coming on the show to talk about PS3 variants. So if you're a PS3 fan, stay tuned for that one. Yeah, been heaps of fun. Thanks again for coming on, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Good night, gentlemen. Thanks everyone in the chat. We loved having you. And tune in next week for the PlayStation 3 variant gangbang. It's going to be great.
See you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Peace.